Christmas parties. It is the season for lots of fun and frivolity, but also there's a few things that we need to look out for. So today I have with me Cara, and we're going to talk about the things that you need to think about when it comes to preparing for Christmas events. So first of all, Christmas in itself as a workplace hazard. There's a few things to think about. The starting point is not everybody celebrates Christmas. It can be a hard time financially and emotionally if you've got lost loved ones, if you're struggling to provide the Christmas event and spend the money that you would like to spend. And maybe you're just at that end of year and you're feeling really tired. So all of those things can contribute to a bit of a hazard, but the main one people like to talk about is the Christmas party. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the risks of a Christmas party.
So the key risk factors, well, first of all, alcohol. It would be boring without it, but it certainly presents a problem when it comes to adding a risk factor to a party. The next, the people that you invite to that party and how they might behave. And finally, the boundaries in terms of timing of when it starts, when it finishes, and also the boundaries as to how people can behave while they're there.
And so to manage all of these risks, we've got to think about our Christmas party in three aspects: before the party, during, and after. So starting with before, set some clear start and finish times. When is this a workplace? When is the employer taking responsibility for this party, this event, being a work event? And when does it finish?
The next thing to think of is to remind your staff about all employer policies and procedures. So things like respect at work, the code of conduct, letting them know these all continue to apply at the Christmas party, and to be festive but not foolish.
So when you're at the party, there's obviously a few things, safety and security. Are you going to have people on a door if you're having a large party to make sure that people aren't coming into the party who shouldn't be there? Is there going to be people there to ensure the safety of the party that it's happening by way of responsible service, for example, making sure that alcohol is not just a free-for-all, but that there is someone making a decision, should this person really have another drink, or maybe we should just turn it off for them?
Another thing to think of is making sure you've got enough food. One of the biggest mistakes that any catering event can have is not having enough food where people are hungry and deciding to fill their tummies with cocktails rather than food. The next thing, which may be the saddest job you ever have to have, is to nominate a responsible manager or person for the party. Someone who's looking out for someone that might have had a little bit too many drinks and needs to be popped into that Uber a little bit early, or someone that needs a little bit of extra support to remind them that grease lightning moves on the dance floor may not be the way to go at this particular Christmas party. Final step that people often forget is whether or not your party will be unplugged. That is making sure people understand that if you have a social media policy and it applies, or if there's a particular event social media policy where only marketing can take photos, that everyone is aware of it, so there aren't any nasty surprises or requirements to delete video footage after the party.
Speaking of after the party, we're talking about getting people home. So are you going to provide them with Uber or taxi vouchers? How are you going to make sure that they get home safely? But the bigger perhaps issue that comes up is the after party. So it might be that you've got the owner of the business who's thinking, yeah, it's going to be fun. Let's kick on. We're having such a great time. Or maybe it's just a particular group and they decide to go off together and continue to celebrate. If that after party as such is endorsed by the business, then you run the risk that everything that's happening at that is still considered to be part of work, part of the workplace, and therefore the employer's at risk of being held responsible for anything that might occur. So that probably sums it up. What do you think, Cara? Anything else we should finish with?
We want everyone to make sure they have a wonderful time at Christmas, but making sure that you're protecting your business and yourselves in the process.
If you want to know any more about getting ready for Christmas, setting in place some policies and procedures, or doing some training, then please get in touch with Cara and I at hello@3dhrlegal.com.au.